Sad news from the music world today. Brian Wilson, the co-founder and primary songwriter of the legendary rock group The Beach Boys, has died. The announcement was made by Wilson's family on social media, and Wilson helped usher in anthems like I Get Around, Good Vibrations, and California Girls. The band's 1966 album Pet Sounds was voted #2 in Rolling Stone's list of the greatest albums of all time. Wilson's family did not announce a cause of death, but he had previously been diagnosed with dementia. Brian Wilson was 82 years old. And joining us now is David Leaf, a friend of Brian Wilson. He's also the author of Smile, the Rise, Fall, and Resurrection of Brian Wilson. And David, thank you very much for joining us. I'm sorry to hear about your loss. What can you tell us about your relationship with Brian?
It's a complicated one because he was a friend, but I was also his biographer. And I probably wrote more words than anybody else alive about him. But he trusted me with his story. The picture behind me was we were walking into NBC Studios in Burbank, and he's laughing. You can't see me, but what you can see is he's laughing. And I think that sums up Brian Wilson as much as anything. He loved to laugh. He loved to make people laugh. He loved to make people happy. And he did that with his music. Now, like most great artists, there's a troubling side to his life. He was abused as a child. He spent, as he described it, 9 years in prison with a strange psychologist. But ultimately, he came out on the other side of it all to have this tremendous second act as a solo artist. So his Beach Boys career is unparalleled as the composer, arranger, and producer of virtually all of their most beloved hits. But as a solo artist, he also had a tremendous career. So his music will live forever, long after we're all gone. And the feeling in his music is what he cared about most. He would sit at the piano and just play what he called feels, looking for a piece of music that would describe how he felt. And you mentioned the Pet Sounds album, which I'm glad you did, because Sir Paul McCartney said nobody is musically educated until they've heard Pet Sounds. And Brian loved Smile so much that he said, when I asked him, how would you compare Pet Sounds to Smile? He said, well, I'd give Pet Sounds a 4 and Smile a 10. So this is a guy who knew how great he was, but he also knew that and believed very strongly that he was a channel for spiritual music. The lyrics of I Get Around that may not be spiritual or California Girls, but the sounds of it were. And that's what Brian was most interested in, his Pet Sounds.
And David, before we let you go, what do you think will be his enduring legacy? How will we remember Brian Wilson?
He will be remembered as one of the greatest composers of the 20th century. So when people are studying music hundreds of years from now, and it's a class with Beethoven and Mozart and Bach, Brian Wilson will be in that class as well. He did things musically that nobody ever did. And to this day, you will hear from people from generations after the Beach Boys' golden era saying, how did he do that? And I've tried to provide the answer in my books and in my films, but there was no answer. He was just, to put it, use the word that Sir George Martin used, a genius.
And we will remember him. David Leaf, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.